Well, welcome to the 700 Club, an indescribable nightmare. Thousands of Armenians are on the run following Azerbaijan's military takeover of their homeland. Armenia's prime minister has declared that ethnic cleansing is underway.
More than 120,000 Armenians live in a landlocked enclave in Azerbaijan. Many fear that this takeover is going to wipe out their Christian and their ethnic history. George Thomas has the details.
Officials from Armenia and Azerbaijan are set to meet today in Brussels for the first time since Azerbaijan's Muslim-majority forces seized control of the predominantly Armenian Christian territory of Nagorno-Karabakh last week.
It was a nightmare. There are no words to describe. The village was heavily shelled. Almost no one is left in the village. Most people have been evacuated.
The Blitz attack forcing nearly 14,000 refugees to cross into Armenia, with thousands more stuck in massive traffic jams at the only checkpoint crossing. Amidst all this, a massive explosion at a fuel depot killed 20 and injured more than 300 as refugees scrambled to get gas before escaping. Joe Veldkamp is with the human rights group Christian Solidarity International.
Our friends there told us that people in Karabakh are deciding, some of them, to try to have the bodies of their loved ones who were killed in this war taken to Armenia in refrigerated cars to be buried there. Because if they bury them in Karabakh, they won't be able to visit them ever again, and their graves might be desecrated by Azerbaijani forces.
Nagorno-Karabakh is a landlocked region between Azerbaijan and Armenia.
This is an area of Armenia, Nagorno-Karabakh, that has been contested for many years. It has historically been filled with Armenians, Armenian cultures, the Christian faith.
While it's been internationally recognized as part of Azerbaijan, the area has been ruled by ethnic Armenians for 3 decades. 2 U.S. officials traveled to the region and met with Armenia's prime minister Monday. He told them ethnic cleansing is happening right now.
We received word yesterday from our friends in Nagorno-Karabakh that essentially deportations are beginning of the entire Armenian population of Nagorno-Karabakh.
Armenians are some of the first people in the world to embrace Christianity. Now there's concern their religious and ethnic history in Nagorno-Karabakh could be wiped out.
The population of ethnic Armenians in Nagorno-Karabakh should be able to remain in their homes in peace and dignity with respect for their rights and security if they choose to do so. Those who want to leave and return should be allowed safe passage.
CBN contributor Chuck Holton, who has reported extensively from Armenia, warns Azerbaijan's ambitions don't stop at Nagorno-Karabakh's borders.
The real concern here is that Azerbaijan is not going to stop by just taking over this one exclave. They're literally talking about taking all of Armenia.
George Thomas, CBN News.
And that should concern us all. It's ethnic cleansing on a level that we haven't seen in decades. And here it is happening again. The whole world pledged never again. It's happening on our watch. So what is the UN doing? What is the United States doing? What are the Western powers doing to stop this? And the answer is very little. And what would happen if Azerbaijan says we want to take Armenia too? They have the military capacity. They clearly outgun Armenia, and they're using their oil money to get very sophisticated weapons. And the reason they've defeated Armenia again and again in these battles is because of drone technology. So this is something that should be of concern for every Christian all around the world. Let us pray for our brothers and sisters that God would protect them and see them to safety. In other news, New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez says he won't step down in the face of criminal charges, despite pressure from fellow Democrats. John Jessup has more on that story from our CBN News Bureau in Washington. John?
Thanks, Gordon. Speaking to reporters Monday, the senator said he's not resigning and that he'll be cleared of all charges. Last week, a U.S. attorney charged him with taking bribes to help local businessmen, as well as giving sensitive, non-public information to Egypt. An FBI raid on his home turned up gold bars and about $500,000 in cash, some stuffed in suit coat pockets. The senator said he's been withdrawing cash from his bank account for years in case he needs it for an emergency. Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and at least 3 fellow Senate Democrats say he should resign. Well, Mexico is taking new steps to cut down on the surge at the southern border. In a new agreement with the United States, Mexico will now deport foreign migrants from cities near the border, sending them back to their home countries. That's one of 15 measures Mexico will take as part of the deal. Also on the list, the Mexican government will allow the U.S. to expel migrants via an international bridge that connects Mexico to El Paso. The agreement comes as a surge of migrants trying to make their way to America. 233,000 people attempted to illegally cross the border, Gordon, in August alone.
Well, these numbers are staggering, and congratulations to the Biden administration for finally waking up to it. When you have the Democrat mayors of New York and Chicago saying this is unsustainable, we're in an absolute crisis. The border crisis has hit us in New York City, has hit us in Chicago. You have to do something. But it's sort of, you know, is it too late? Millions have crossed in just the brief time he's been president. It's absolutely staggering the number of people that have had to be absorbed. So when New York and Chicago are crying out, may the whole nation cry out, we have to protect our own borders.